Hey folks, Todd here. Today we're going to install the BAKFlip MX4 EZ-Lift from RealTruck on this 2024 Ford F-150. The tools we'll be using for this installation are a ratchet with half-inch socket, scissors, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, the first thing we want to do is install our bulkhead seal, and it's going to go across the bulkhead from one side all the way to the other. We want to get it as close to the inside of the bulkhead as possible, as far away from the cab, and we're going to cut it in place. Make sure you wipe down this surface with alcohol before you apply the seal. Okay, here is our driver's side rail. Now this is going to set on top of the bed cap and go all the way up against the bulkhead. Before we set this in place, what we're going to do, if we go up to the front side, we're going to notice we've got a foam block. That block comes off, and we're going to insert our drain tube right over that drain spout. All right, next I'm going to go ahead and rotate this up. On the inside, you're going to notice we've got a channel on the inside of the rail, and that is for our clamps. So let me show you how our clamps work. What I like to do is take each one of our clamps apart. We're going to have 3 clamps per side here. So we just take the bolt all the way out. We're going to set that to the side. And then the part that's threaded, we're also going to set to the side. And then the other part, you're going to notice this piece right in here is going to match the contours of that channel inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert this into that channel and then snap it in place. This allows us to put that clamp anywhere we want. We're going to go ahead and do our front and rear clamps the same way. All right, now we can go ahead and rotate the rail down, slide it all the way up against the bulkhead, and now we can start attaching our clamps. I'm going to start with the center. I'm going to take the other clamp half, go behind the bed cap. Also, you want to feel and make sure there's no obstructions coming down from underneath the bed cap. Sometimes there's a piece of plastic from the bed cap that goes down through the rail, and we don't want that to interrupt where this is going to attach. So we're going to set that in place, and you'll also notice we got 2 notches on that clamp. We want to go to the upper notch where it sets in. And once we've got that in place, I'm going to hold that just like so, and then take our bolt with washer and run it back through. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tighten that down using a half-inch socket. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the same with the front clamp. Make sure there's no obstructions underneath the bed cap. Go ahead and attach the rear side the same way as you do the center. All right, and now we're going to do the rear clamp the exact same way as the first 2. Okay, next what we need to do is route our drain tube. Now you can route it out through a hole down the bottom. We've also got a hole at the top, so we're going to use that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this so that the end can go in and drop down into where the stake pocket would be. All right, now repeat the same process for the rail on the opposite side. All right, so here is the cover. I just pulled it out of the box and set on the tailgate here. This panel right here has straps attached to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this particular panel up, remove my packing material, and fold out this header panel. Now, a couple of things I want to point out. We got some tape here, and we've got some tape right here. What we're going to do is remove that tape. And what that's going to do is expose some holes. Now, we've got 2 smaller holes here and a couple of larger holes right here. That's going to be for our clip receiver. So this is where our clip will attach. So we need to make sure this is facing towards our strap. Before we attach it, what we're going to do is we're going to attach our seal to the bottom of it. So we're going to take our seal, peel away the adhesive protector, and then we can go ahead and slide that over just like so. Make sure the flat side is faced towards the opening and the rounded side is faced towards the back like so. Now what we can do is go ahead and push that down through those 2 holes and then fold it backwards. Now in our kit we're also going to have some screws, some Phillips head screws that have a coating on the end. Do not remove that coating. What we're going to do is insert it inside like so, and we're going to use a screwdriver and drive that in. All right, now we're going to have the cover retaining clamp assembly. What you'll notice, we've got a couple of carriage bolts that are going through. We've got a couple of star knobs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up those star knobs. That way I can push up and we can see the square head on the carriage bolts. So what we're going to do is on the bottom of this channel, we're going to have two open slots. We got a slot here it's open, a slot here it's open. This slot is closed. What we're going to do is line up these carriage bolts to the open slots and slide that in place. Now make sure that this clamp portion right here is facing out. So I'm going to slide that in. All right, now both of those carriage bolts are sliding through those channels. So I'm going to slide this back to about where our clip receiver is, and I'm just going to snug them down for right now. We're not going to tighten them down all the way. We just want this in place so that whenever this lands on top of our rails, that we can adjust this over to the rails. We're going to repeat the same process for the cover retaining clamp and the clip receiver on the opposite side. All right, now we can go ahead and take our cover, set it on top of the rails. Then we're going to go ahead and allow the header panel to drop down in place. Make sure we have it all the way up against the bulkhead before it completely drops down. Now we're going to go ahead and center it side by side. And then one panel at a time, we're going to go ahead and start folding it back towards the tailgate and get each panel centered. All right, now we're going to go ahead and check engagement at the tailgate. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back to the tailgate. I know this is already going to be nice and centered, but first I'm going to go ahead and close the tailgate and make sure that we've got plenty of engagement, and we do. So now we can go ahead and set our clamps at the front. So what I'm going to do is drop the tailgate and very gently fold up the first two panels. We're not going to fold it all the way up against the cab yet. And then we're going to climb underneath and set the clamps underneath the header panel. Okay, now we are underneath the cover on the driver's side. Here is our cover retaining clamp assembly. What we're going to do is we're going to loosen that up. Now, this can slide back and forth. This portion right here is going to kind of go over top of this part of the rail. We do have a tab that's kind of bent in right here that's going to fit inside this cutout. So I'm going to slide that over and push that up in place. With that in place, we can go ahead and tighten down the star knobs. All right, now it's securely holding the rail. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. All right, next what we're going to do is pull the cable to unlatch the cover, hold it up towards the cab, and note where the cover would be contacting the cab. What we're going to do is we're going to put one of the other rubber bumpers right in the center, and then one on either side of that. Again, we're going to prep that surface that this is adhering to with alcohol first. Okay, now we've got our cover resting up against the cab. And this right here is our torsion spring. Now in our torsion spring, we've got a clip that's not allowing that to engage just yet. So now that we have our cover against the cab, we can go ahead and pull that clip out and you'll hear it click in place and engage. All right, now our torsion spring's engaged. Let's go ahead and test the operation of the cover. All right, now let's go ahead and do the operation of the cover. First, we're going to open the tailgate and we can reach inside. On either side, we've got a paddle latch. Pull that paddle latch and you can lift the cover open. Now the second panel is automatically going to pull the latch for you, so it's going to retract the latch so you don't have to pull a latch there. Now if you want to drive in this position, we've got our clip straps that are included. We just kind of pull those, attach them to a clip receiver, cinch it down. You do that on both sides. You're allowed to drive with it in this position here. Now if you want to drive with the cover completely open, that's easy to do too. We're just going to pull the last cable. Now this is going to be a very easy lift because we got the torsion spring helping us lift this cover up. We're going to fold it all the way up against the cab, and then we're going to take our prop rod, fold it forward. This slide right here, we loosen up, pull it up, and we can trap our prop rod underneath that, and that braces it up against the cab. If you do that on both sides, you're ready to drive down the highway in this position. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts, visit us online, or check out our list of dealers near you.